As the Chinese president lands in Moscow, the deputy chair, the Russian deputy chair, former President Dmitry Medveydev, has attacked the International Criminal Court, warning on the Telegram channel that Russia might in turn attack the ICC. It is quite extraordinary that he might launch a missile strike on the ICC in response to the charge of war crimes against President Putin. The ICC judges got all worked up in vain. Look, they said, we're brave. We're not too chicken shit to raise a hand against the largest nuclear power. Alas, gentlemen, everyone walks under God and rockets. It's not hard to imagine the targeted use of a hypersonic onyx from the North Sea from a Russian ship on the Hague courthouse. It's extraordinarily aggressive language to an organisation which, frankly, is unlikely to have the teeth to carry out its arrest warrants. It issued similar arrest warrants. It issued similar condemnation of Australia for its scheme to detain refugees. That went unchallenged. That produced nothing. It was a bark without bite. This may be the same. Similarly, of course, for Biden to say that the ICC arrest warrant is important, well, it's just words from Biden, because America has never formally ratified the ICC agreement anyway, nor has Russia. The ICC agreement arrest warrant was issued on St. Patrick's Day on March the 17th. And the formal cause for this is Putin's complicity in the illegal deportation of children. And we'll say more about that as the day goes on. The court also issued an arrest warrant for the Russian Human Rights Commissioner, Maria Lvova-Belova, who was also involved in the same criminal activity. And Medvedev's petulant Telegram message is absurd, almost as absurd as his manner of handshake and his general behaviour since the Russian invasion, since the Kremlin invasion of Ukraine. This is a man who I thought was somebody we could do business with, somebody who had his head screwed on when it was quite clear, even after the invasion of Crimea, that Mr. Putin was desperate for the image of a strong man and desperate to secure his next election with some sort of evidence of his strength on the world stage. It worked with Crimea, and he thought it would work by driving the troops into Ukraine itself and seizing Kyiv in imitation of the way that he terrified Georgia. It didn't work. He's now left with a problem. Now, I thought that Medvedev was somebody who could hold a frank conversation. I don't think that's true. I also judge Medvedev to be fundamentally weak. I think there's a lot of dodginess going on in Russian government circles anyway. And many of the people in the Duma are clearly people who can be pressured into vote in a particular way because they are terrified of blackmail. Putin has things over almost everybody, and it's a very strange system. It's a very, very strange system, and it's not attractive. Threat hangs over the Kremlin institutions like a dark cloud. And I wonder in what ways Mr. Medvedev is being threatened so that he ends up stamping his foot and petulantly screaming at the West. I wonder exactly what Mr. Putin is suggesting. Could it be Mr. Putin and I have the same thoughts? Well, probably we do. In my case, I think that's a positive. In Mr. Putin's case, he thinks that's a negative. But Mr. Putin also is somebody who has question marks over his behavior, identity, attitudes.